Hello everyone, very good morning. Hi, how are you doing? Um, I hope your preparation is going amazing. In case it is not amazing, please write in the comment section. We will help it become amazing. We will do whatever is possible to make you confident. One of the things which we are doing is we are coming at 9 a.m. from Tuesday to Friday every week talking about verbal ability section. That is, last week we were talking about parajumbles. Today we are talking about from last Tuesday, this Tuesday to Friday, we are today talking about para summary. Next week we'll talk about odd one out. So this is what we are doing. Before that we were doing some grammar also along with verbal ability questions. And please tell us how we're doing, or how you would like us to change our content or the presentation style. um, yeah, uh, also please, the only way to become confident here is to solve para summary. So at least solve few questions, if not many questions, of para summary, para jumbles, and odd one out every day. Start with one or two questions. Slowly you will gain interest. Also keep solving reading comprehension, and keep looking at the solution section. uh, in case your answers are wrong, where have you gone wrong? And this applies for every question for para summary as well. If your answer is wrong, just go and look in the solution why it is wrong. What is that you have missed? What course correction that you should be doing here? This is very important, because only if you will read the solution section, you'll be able to understand what mistakes you have done, and then you can introspect again, because you all are very highly intelligent people. All human beings are hardwired to survive somewhere. So probably you will also come up, after reading that solution, you will come up with some techniques, with some self-evolved techniques for your own self, which I may not be able to tell clearly, but somewhere they will be related to whatever I'm talking here. Somewhere between your ideas and my ideas, there will be a middle path which will actually work for you, and we have to look for that middle path. That is the objective of all of us here. So yeah, let's start the class. Para summary. Today we have some difficult questions, some tough questions. My name is Anupam. I am a verbal ability subject matter expert and a mentor. And to stay in touch, download Unacademy app, install it, go to plus cat and subscribe. Why I'm asking you to subscribe is that because all these things, whatever I'm saying, that doing questions, it should be done online, and it should be done on a content which has a certain amount of quality in it, and a content which will provide you doubt solving sessions, a content which will provide you, give you an opportunity to interact with the educator. It will give you detailed solutions, the questions, and your test series papers. And also it will also help you to analyze the performance, because when you will write your test series, you have to be some basic analysis has to be done as to in which section you are doing badly, or in which kind of questions you're doing badly. So this sort of an analysis is also done in our Unacademy app. And if you look at the pricing for 12 months, it is 15,715. For 24 months, it is 18,900, and it's the most cost effective fees for any coaching, whether physical or online, which can be available at this sort of quality level. There are players, but this sort of pricing with the kind of quality which we are giving, that is amazing. And So use the code Saxena10 to get these prices, these discounts. And yeah, let's start paragraph summary. So the passage given below is followed by 4 alternate summaries. Choose the options that best captures the essence of the passage. Okay. Now, what has happened that in this particular question, this is again an actual CAT question. Just a moment, let me see whether it's coming all right or not. Okay. I can see that that it is sort of, my head is sort of, I'll change this a little. Give me a moment. See if it will work this. I will take out the question because question is taking some space. You know that what you have to do. You have to find the best summary, and it is now coming all right. Okay, let's start talking now. Whatever is happening here, I can see on my phone. I will modify it further. So this was one of the questions which came last year. It was tough question. It was it created a little bit of flutter among the students. A little bit of difficulty came in here. Yeah, I think it will be all right now. Perfect. I can see that. A distinguishing feature of language is our ability to refer to absent things, known as displaced reference. So our distinguishing feature of a language is to a very distinguishing means something which is very distinct, refer to things which are not present. A speaker can bring distant reference to mind in the absence of obvious stimuli. Okay, so a speaker can bring distant reference to mind in absence of an obvious stimuli. Okay, what is a referent? Referent is something which is being referred to by say X is referring to Y, so Y will be the referent. Okay, so so it's saying that without obviously stating, without any obvious it's saying a speaker can bring distant reference to mind in absence of any obvious stimuli. So without obviously referring to X, Y can still refer to X, right? Thoughts not limited to here and now can pop in our heads for unfathomable reasons. Unfathomable means something which we cannot completely understand. Thoughts which are not limited to the present moment, and distant things and things can come to us. This ability to think about distant things necessarily precedes the ability to talk about them. So this ability to think about something before we speak is so this ability precedes it. It sort of comes earlier to it, or it is an ability which we acquire earlier than speaking about it. Okay, so before you become completely comfortable, before you become confident, the required amount of confidence to vocalize, to communicate, to use your the wind in your windpipe, to utilize it to speak. Before that all this happens, this micro small things which we're not aware of, these things happen, although they happen at a very voluntary level, but still they take place somewhere in our body. We are not aware of those aspects. So when they happen, before they happen, something else happens, which is also an ability, which is to think about it. And what you said, that it is we refer to absent things, we refer to things which are distant, we refer to things which have not been obviously referred to, and we think about them before we talk about them. Thought, then next is again. So remember what we discussed about summary. Summary is what? Summary is nothing but restating the central idea, the most important idea mentioned in the paragraph, in the words which are not exactly same, right? Which are words which are slightly different than the original text. They can be synonyms of the words used, or they can be similar to the words used. At the same time, the main message or the primary message will be used here. Primary message will be said here, will be told here. And so what is happening, that either all the ideas present in the because they can be one main idea, and there can be many sub ideas, many smaller ideas. So either all of them can be present, a few of them can be present, or most of them can be present, or only the central idea will be present. The problem with the options will be that they will be somewhere opposite to the idea, contrary to the idea present. They will be opposite to any sub idea. There will be some sort of a word use, some smaller adjective or adverb will be used, or some noun or pronoun will be used, which will be again irrelevant or opposite, or not, it will not be matching, it will not match in the spirit and to the ideas, spirit of the ideas mentioned in this paragraph. For example, if something has been said as it is good enough in the paragraph, in the bad option, in the wrong option, it will say that it is very good. So something which is good enough will be presented as very good. So so bad options are formed in a way in which certain words will be commonly used, which have been used in the paragraph. They will be used here, but they will not be having exact meaning. Then comes here a prerequisite for the emergence of human-like meaningful symbols is that the mental categories they relate to can be invoked even in the absence of immediate stimuli. They are saying that there are some human-like symbols in a mental category, and they relate to the they sort of in the absence of immediate, so they relate to some sort of an so again, if you look at the same thing, this is repetition of what was being said earlier, right? That some mental categories should be present, some thoughts, some ideas should be present. They so they relate to the to an idea, all to an object in absence of an stimuli, right? Some sort of so thinking before speaking, thinking before reference to it, before communication. So that is the main idea, and also referring to things which are not around us. So that is the that is what is being saying here. Look at the options. First says thoughts precedes all speech acts. Now remember, it's not about sometimes the certain adjectives, adverbs, pronoun, noun will be used to present the ideas in a different flavor than what they were present in the end. Did they ever talk about in the entire paragraph? If you read it again while I'm talking about this, just read it. Have they ever mentioned that anything about all the speech acts? No, it is about a tendency, it is about a quality, it is about something which is understood as a concept, as a, it is, no, this is also a sort of an idea. So before talking, we have read this, we have somewhere understood what parasummary is all about, right? So speaking, saying that thoughts precede all speech acts, this was little too extreme to be true. If we have to corroborate, or we have to sort of confirm this information, all speech acts, thought precede all speech act, on the basis of the data given in the paragraph. Okay, and yeah, this is true that thoughts pop up in our head even in absence of any stimuli. Yeah, so this is also to some extent true, partially true, but there is this, that they precede all speech acts. This is something which has not been mentioned. Also, it is not covering the essence here. What they were saying, that the ability to think. So this process, or this so if you look at just from a very human development standpoint, a child first begins to grow in terms of brain. The child is fed, the child is bathed, the child is made to made to walk. The child is, you know, made to wear, you know, do certain actions. Certain actions are done. The child is played with. The child is you know, people start trying to talk to him in a way, and then the child starts making some noises, and then ma, papa, and then so on. So if you look at from that standpoint also, first thought, so it's what is that? It is an ability to think comes first, and ability to talk comes at a later stage. Ability to tell that I am hungry, or I'm thirsty, or that I'm not keeping well, or something which you're doing is bothering me, this comes earlier. Then the child starts speaking. So there's an ability question here. Saying that thoughts precede all speech acts, this was not the agenda here, that this was not what they were trying to say, right? It was taken from a ability, power, or the conditioning of human mind standpoint. It is from that standpoint they're talking about, not that thought comes before speech. This is at a very basic level, and also at a different plane than we're talking about. Another thing, that this saying that all speech acts before that thought comes, this was nowhere said. Then comes that displaced reference is particular to humans, and thoughts pop into our heads for no real reason. It says that displaced reference is particular to humans. Let's go to the next. This will sort of help you. Thoughts reference is particular to humans. Thought reference is particular to humans. Um, this was nowhere said. Saying that thought reference is particular to humans, this is something which you cannot confirm on the basis of the data given in the paragraph. Third says thoughts are essential to communication and only humans have the ability to think about objects and not present in their not present in their surroundings. In the again same thing, displays reference is particular to humans. In 2, in 3 they say only humans have the ability to think about objects not present in the surroundings. This is what 2 and 3 are same thing. They are saying the same idea. At least the first half of 2 and the second half of 3, the idea whatever they're saying is same. Just in language they have changed. Displays reference they were talking about. Here they are talking about things that are not present in our surroundings. Absent things. Right? So this is again something which is incorrect, because like we discussed that nowhere it has been said that humans have the ability to think about objects not present in their surroundings. Fourth says the ability to think about objects not present in our environment precedes the development of human communication. That the ability, so yeah, this is what they said, that ability. Remember we said about, if you come to the thoughts not limited to here and now can pop into our heads for unfathomable reasons. This ability to think about distant things necessarily precedes the ability to talk about them. The thought, next sentence says, the thought precedes meaningful referential communication. Right? So this, in a way, we can also argue that thoughts precede all speech acts. This line is actually contrary to that, if we can see, because it's saying that thoughts precedes meaningful referential action. Here it says thought precedes all speech acts, which is contrary. Right? Fourth option is correct in a way, whatever we were thinking, that the ability to think about objects which are not present, for which we have to give a reference, or to think about the ability to think about distant things, it necessarily precedes the ability to talk about them. So meaningful referential communication comes at a basic cost of a at a basic cost of thinking first. So this is the, okay, I hope it is clear. Again, if we see just for a moment, if you look at the options are very close, right? Especially the first one was very close, but if you read it properly, you will get to know that fourth one is the right answer. Here comes, the given passage below is formed by 4 alternate summaries. Choose the option that best captures the essence of the passage. Again, I think it will be covering this thing. My head will be covering. little bigger for you so that you are able to see it properly. Okay, I think it's good enough. Again, it's a good summary. I like the question. It was a little challenging. Physics is a pure science that seeks to understand the behavior of matter without regard to whether it will afford any practical benefit. Okay, engineering is core relative applied science in which physical theories are put to some specific use, such as building a bridge or a nuclear reactor. Engineers obviously rely heavily on the discoveries of physicists, but an engineer's knowledge of the world is not same as the physicist's knowledge. If we look at this point, it is saying that physics and engineering are referring to two different areas of knowledge. Okay, and but obviously engineering has a certain amount of relationship with the physical theories, but the application is little different. So it says engineers obviously rely heavily on the discoveries of physicists, but an engineer's knowledge of the world is not same as a physicist's knowledge. In fact, engineers know-how will often depend on physical theories that from the point of view of the pure physics are false. It's saying that sometimes engineers use certain facts, certain ideas, certain information, certain knowledge. Some of the knowledge which engineers use, they apply that knowledge. It may not be completely true in the view of the pure physics. There are some of the reasons for this. First, theories that are false in the purest and strictest sense are still sometimes very good approximation to the true ones, and often have the virtue added of being much easier to work with. So what is happening is that pure physics, the concepts or the ideas which may not hold true if we look at an idea from a pure physics standpoint, but still that idea, that branch of knowledge, those pieces of information, those ideas will be helpful in practical usage. Second, sometimes the true theories apply only under highly idealized conditions, which can only be created under controlled experimental situation. It also says that the theories which work in true physics can only be applied under ideal conditions, not in real life world. So we just summarize this far. One is that of course in engineering as a branch of knowledge draws heavily on physics, but from the application front, from whenever the concepts of whenever the engineering has to be applied to create something, then the knowledge which is used there, or certain techniques, certain ideas, certain methods which are used here, they may not hold true in terms of the pure physics. The reason is that pure physics can only work in the ideal conditions, whereas engineering is more of an application part which has to work in the real life where the ideal conditions will not work. The engineer finds that in the real world, theories rejected by physicists yield more accurate predictions than the ones that they accept. So they are saying saying that the theories which are not accepted by the physicist, they yield more accurate predictions than the ones the physicists accept. So those ideas which are which which do not hold true in the ideal world of physics may function, may work out in the world of engineering where it is being applied. Next comes the relationship between pure and applied sciences is strictly linear, with pure science directly applied science, with pure science directing applied science and never the other way around. This was never being said here. The entire idea was about that. So if you simply put, the summary was that in engineering is for practical real life usage, physics is for more of a ideal conditions which can be created in a physics lab, if I can put it that way in simple language. It was nowhere mentioned that it's only the pure sciences which provide guidance, or which provide a foundation to the applied science, or an applied science doesn't contribute to the knowledge to the pure science. Also, this has never been said there. This never the other way around. So whenever something very extreme comes, right, which has not been mentioned, but just something like pure science and applied science, some word has been used here, but the information is very extreme, you have to completely ignore that option. That option is a wrong option. Come to second one. Though in engineering draws heavily from pure science, it contributes to knowledge by incorporating the constraints and conditions in the real world. So here it says whatever we were saying earlier, right, that engineering draws heavily, its the foundation is based on pure science, which is physics, but it contributes to the knowledge by incorporating the constraints and the conditions of the real world, which has been said here, right, that engineer so it has been said that first theories that are false. If you read here, from the second, third line, from the fourth line onward, engineers obviously rely heavily on the discoveries of physicists, but an engineer's knowledge of the world is not same as a physicist's knowledge. In fact, engineers' knowledge and engineers' know-how will often depend on physical theories that, from the point of view of the pure physics, are false. And it says that there are some reasons for this. First, theories that are false in the purest and restricted sense are still sometimes very good approximations to the true ones, and have often an added virtue of being much easier to work with. So those ideas or those theories which were incorrect from the pure physics standpoints were actually easier to implement, right? Second is that the true theories can only work in the ideal environment. So here same thing they have said in a different way, that engineering, instead of working in the ideal world, in the ideal lab conditions, it takes care of it encompasses, it accepts, and it manages the constraints and the problems in the real life world, which the problems cannot be solved in a real life world, but those problems can be solved in the in a lab conditions, but in real life world those problems cannot be solved. So this is how it is. And then if we look at the third option, it says unique task of engineer is to identify and understand and interpret the design constraints to produce a success. So nowhere unique task of engineer was mentioned. Also, there is no mention of pure science or physics in this summary. Also, there is no mention that an engineer's knowledge draws heavily on the knowledge of physics. There is heavy the foundation is the knowledge of physics itself, but it is applied in a practical way in certain theories, certain methods which may not be, which will be less than ideal. They have been used in the real world to bring results. This has not been mentioned in that way. So this here it's only saying that about a task of an engineer to understand, identify, and interpret the design constraints. These things have not been spoken in the manner in which they are speaking. So it would have, this summary would have been of a paragraph which is talking about the design constraints, in which an engineer is trying to understand, to interpret, and he or she is trying to analyze the various design constraints. That is not happening in this paragraph. This paragraph was referring to pure sciences and applied sciences, physics, and engineering, and what is the difference in both the fields. It was different to that, which has been spoken of clearly in second. Next comes engineering and physics fundamentally differ in matters like building a bridge or a nuclear reactor. Now this is, again, remember, a summary which talks about, which gives an example may not be the right summary. A summary which talks about the data or the facts present in the actual paragraph, chances are that it is not the right answer. Why? Generally in summaries, but like I said, generally in summaries, example is missing. Examples are not giving an overall view is presented. Also, saying that engineering and physics fundamentally differ on matters of building a bridge or nuclear reactor, this is an incorrect answer, because it has been said that in the line that second line, if you read engineering is correlative applied science in which physical theories are put to a specific use. So where physics of theories are put to a specific use, how can that branch of knowledge and its source of knowledge, which is physics, be fundamentally different? Similarly, if you come to the next line, it says that engineers obviously rely heavily on the discovery of physicists. So the foundation is physics only, on which the specific use, the practical use of engineering, such as building bridge, such as building a bridge or a nuclear reactor is concerned. How can they be fundamentally different from each other? So that is the entire agenda here. So 2 is the right. So we have seen that how certain terms, certain words, certain examples are used to create bad options in front of you in case of parasummary. So that is all for today's class, 9 AM class, and I hope the class was helpful for you. You can also look at previous classes. Also there'll be a special class on Sunday 5 PM which will be also in parasummary. I'll try to bring out some other concepts, other techniques, other methods to look at the problems with respect to parasummary. So please join that Sunday special class, but it will be on the Unacademy app. So in Unacademy app, we have a lot of free offerings, which are like I said, there are special classes and there are quizzes also, and the special live classes which have happened earlier in past, they are present in recorded form. They are there in form of videos. You can go and look at them and you can study from them n number of times. Also, the live classes are free, and the quizzes which happen are also free. And apart from that, we have free YouTube content for you, so that you can improve your skills. However, test series and its proper analysis, also your doubt solving sessions, also your ability to interact with educator is also important, which you will get only if you subscribe to Unacademy. You can look at the content, kind of work which we are doing, the kind of punctuality we are showing in terms of our coming live here, and the content which we are making, the explanations which are giving, the improvement which you are making every week, every day. You can only imagine the kind of hard work which you have done in creating the test series and the quality of that. And it'll be a great investment for you if you would for your career. And it'll help you in getting confidence and over the skills and getting a seat at one of the top irons. Use the code Saxena10 to get 10% discount on the subscription fees. Thank you very much. See you at 2 p.m. in the RC class, and this 9 a.m. class will continue in the next week. I might start it from Monday onwards next week rather than Tuesday, and you will get a notification in advance if you have subscribed to the channel. If you have not done, please do it. Please share this content if you like it with your friends who are preparing for CAT or with general audience. Thank you very much.